Hey guys, in this video I'm gonna show you new things about connection between VCV Rack and Ableton Live. There is such as 0 milliseconds latency MIDI out to VCV Rack and MIDI out to Ableton Live. Also an automation and modulation in VCV, from VCV to Ableton Live. Okay, let's start it. To reproduce 0 milliseconds latency, we need to add external instruments with virtual bus to VCV Rack to compensate the latency in Ableton Live PDC driver. So we're gonna set 16 MIDI tracks and 16 audio tracks that receives audio from MIDI tracks. And that's it. You will get near to 0 latency while recording from VCV Rack. Just set driver error compensation. In my case, this is -7 milliseconds, and also I have set it up signal delay in VCV Rack to compensate MIDI to audio clock. I mean MIDI as MIDI messages like MIDI CC or CV inputs, and audio clock from Ableton Live as a more stable-ish one at this time. Okay, let's try to record it. Okay, I was gonna see. Oh well, this is 1 milliseconds latency. And that's pretty enough because there is a little bit jitter sometimes. But it's around 0.5 or something. Okay, now let's drive MIDI out from Ableton Live to VCV Rack and test its latency as well. It's also around 1 to 0 milliseconds. And in that way you can sequence your oscillators and drums in VCV Rack via internal VCV Rack sequences or gates or clock, and as MIDI driving from Ableton Live, which is pretty vast in possibilities. Next we're gonna try send polyphonic MIDI from Ableton Live to VCV. I'm gonna use all poly modules such as Volt Blick, Volt Boomstick, Polyphonic Filter and Volt Slap, Polyphonic VCA and Envelope Generator as well. Just make sure that your first MIDI CV device has enough polyphonic channels. So I'm gonna use a second MIDI channel just to test it. Let's choose 4 polyphonic signals and run 4 metronome write-in clock. And let's record audio. And now you can hear audio track playing. Okay, let's draw some automation here. I just create automation rack. Let's paste a triangle wave. Draw another controller and sixth one. Okay, let's connect cables from dedicated outputs from MIDI CC. And connect it to desired destinations in VCV Rack. Let's take a listen. Yes, now this sound is changing in time, and it's pretty cool. That feature was in VCV Bridge before, but it has only, as I remember, up to 16 cc's, and now you have a very big amount of cc possibilities. I've just made for my template 8 controls on one track. This is pretty comfortable to use a dedicated controller for Ableton Live. So this is how you can send recorded or drawing automation from Ableton Live to VCV Rack. So the next thing I'm gonna show you is how to record a VCV Rack sequencer or some random voltage to MIDI file or clip into Ableton Live. I will use live in MIDI bus that I've created in Loop MIDI software, which is pretty cool. So let's connect our clocked marbles to CV MIDI in like that. And let's MIDI from live in bus. This is how it sounds like. But as you can see, there is a little bit lag from the grid, but Ableton Live has a great tool. It's called record quantization. Set it to the 13-note quantization, and let's try to record it again. And as you can see, now there is no lag at all, because all recorded MIDI notes have to be quantized. And last but not least, how to record CV modulation from VCV Rack to Ableton Live. Map it for specified parameter. You need to choose external input in CV in Max for Live device, and you have to set that kind of mono inputs for ASIO LINK Pro and name it. So now you just can input some CV. It can receive bipolar CV, so for bipolar you should leave the range at 5 voltage, and now it receives sine wave-like waveform from ZZK FEN3. Is correct divider, and we have a slow one. Okay, let's map it You can place CV in for any track in your project and map it to other device, whatever you like. Let's map it to echo on audio track, just like this. Now we just mapped it. Can control amount of modulation here. And for recording I will use automation recorder from Vladimir Kondakov. You will find it on Gumroad for just $1. It's pretty cheap. It's just like a buffer between your mapping in Ableton Live, but it will allow you to record modulation on this particular destination. Should tap it, and now automation is recorded directly from VCV Rack. That's awesome. And last thing you're gonna maybe to do is simplify envelope. This is new Ableton Live feature to reduce that big amount of dots. Just click simplify envelope, and now you have super clean sine wave from VCV Rack. Awesome. Thank you for watching, guys. I will leave these patches and Ableton Live project on my Patreon. As always, I hope this tutorial will be useful for you if you want to connect it like a VCV or like VST, sorry. See you later.